Hi, gang. Cactus Jack here, and in today's country conversation, get ready to be blown away by the incredible talent of the next big country music star, Makenzie Phipps, ready to take the country music world by storm. All right, good afternoon. This is Cactus Jack. Who do I have on the other end here?
Hey, Jack, it is Makenzie Phipps.
Makenzie, I got some information from several days ago and your bio and a lot of stuff, including your new single. We'll get to that in a little bit, but I had not heard of you before. And what I'd like to find out is a little bit about you, your history and your hometown and what you'd like to do when you're a kid.
Yes, I was born and raised in a town called Bluefield, which is in Virginia. There's actually a Bluefield, Virginia and West Virginia right beside each other, so I kind of like to say I was raised in both states. And I lived in just a small town. You know, it's one of those towns where everybody knows everybody. We had a Walmart, we had a couple red lights, but all in all, it was a very supportive town, and everybody there has always been so supportive of me and my music. I got started singing at a very young age when I was 4 years old in church, and from that point on, I started doing my own shows at the age of 14, and I decided to make the big move to Nashville here recently, which was last year. So I've been in Nashville now currently a year, and it has definitely been different compared to what my living was like in Virginia.
Nashville is kind of a shock, isn't it?
Yes. I go back to my hometown pretty much every other weekend, so I still get that simple country living. But, yeah, Nashville is definitely, it's chaotic. It's not for the weak. But I enjoy it. There's a lot of opportunity here, and there's just a lot more things to do.
So you are based in Nashville these days?
Yes, I am.
Well, I'm going to get a little bit weird here. This is a classic country station here, and most of the folks that I interview, I don't know, I talked to Mary Sarah, if you remember her, a couple of years ago, but most of the folks I interview are my age or older. I'm 70. So a lot of the young folks are more into social media and TikToks and least amount of clothing they can get by with and stay out of jail. And their music doesn't speak to me. So what I need to know is how did you hang on to your country roots?
Well, you know, when I was younger, I listened to pretty much everything. When it came to country, I was on so many different artist spectrums. I loved listening to Loretta, Patsy, Tammy Wynette. Then you get, at that time, more recent, which would have been Luke Bryan, Jason Aldean, Miranda Lambert, Carrie Underwood. I just like to listen to it all. And for the longest time, especially when I got started in doing music in the public eye, I had not yet decided to market in country yet. At my shows, I would actually do so many different genres. I'd go from doing country, singing Miranda Lambert, to going to pop. I'd do Demi Lovato. Then I would do a lot of Etta James, Janis Joplin. I mean, I was all over the place. But when I started getting into my later teens, probably about 17 or so, that's when I started to realize country seemed to be the pick for me, and it came very natural for me to sing with my twang and all that. So that's why I chose country, and I love singing country.
All I have to say about all that is, number one, it shows, and number two, thank you. Thank you so much. Tell me a little bit about your music in general. I know you wrote at least part of some of your songs, and we're going to talk about the new one a little bit later on, but tell me about your music. You've got quite a bit on Spotify. I listened to quite a bit of it last few days, and I'm really impressed.
Well, thank you. Yes, so on my streaming platforms, believe it or not, majority of those songs were pitched to me. They were either pitched to me at the time by my producer, Sal Oliveri, or my backup singer and guitarist, Shane Begley, had written a lot for me to go and record. I did co-write on our Christmas song, so if anybody out there likes to listen to Christmas music in July, then y'all can go check that out. But yes, as far as with this new single that I have out, that is actually the first song that I've ever put out in the open on streaming platforms that I wrote solely myself.
Well, you
so
done
I've been
good.
dabbling a lot more into songwriting and recording my own material in studio.
You were busy at CMA Fest. You were hanging out with the folks. You've been on TV and RFD TV and big social media presence. So we can go ahead and talk about how folks can find you. And if they've seen you before, maybe this will refresh their memory.
Yeah, I'm available on all social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I've really been trying to grow those TikTok and Instagram numbers. So if y'all have either of those platforms, then go give me a follow. I have so many shows all throughout 2024. So maybe our paths will meet out there for those that may be in the Virginia, West Virginia, Tennessee, Illinois area.
We're going to get into that. I've been taking notes. I do my research pretty heavily. I'm going to be meeting you in person soon. Anyway, my favorite of the songs that I heard was called 18 Wheels, and that one is just so stone country. And being a dad and being a grandpa with a lot of girls in my genealogy, I cried. It was really beautiful. And you told us how you chose your song. So can you tell me about that one? Do you know anything about the songwriters or where it came from or anything?
I know exactly where it came from because I was with the man when he wrote it. That came from my backup singer and guitarist, Shane Begley. He wrote that song because I was actually asked to go perform at the 50th Mid-America Trucking Show anniversary held in Louisville, Kentucky a couple of years back. And we thought about, there's not many songs out there subjected around 18-wheelers themselves. So we were like, why not write a song in honor of all of them and perform it at the event? So Shane went to writing, and he came up with this beautifully written song. And, I mean, it is a emotional roller coaster. It's a tear-jerking storyline. And I think he did a fantastic job at really conveying the story. I've had a lot of people out there ask me, was my father a trucker? Because I just am very well at emotionally conveying the story. And I was like, my dad actually was not a trucker. I did have some uncles back in the day that were truck drivers, and I very much appreciate their support because, back then, especially where I'm from, they had to make a living, and they had to be hauling coal and all of that stuff around, and I just love that song. I think he did so well with it, and I think people out there should go and share it with everybody they know so that the truckers from all over the nation know how much they are appreciated.
Well, I'm going to tell the folks who are listening here. Now, I've been a truck driver quite a bit. I've driven quite a bit. Radio doesn't pay the greatest, so you always have to have radio as a second income and kind of an ego trip career. So I've driven trucks quite a bit, and it's got Jake brakes in it, and it's got refrigeration in it, and it's got coming home. And my favorite hook line was when his wheels quit rolling, he went to Jesus. What a great song. What a great country song.
Well, thank you. I'll have to let Shane know that you thoroughly enjoyed it.
Songwriters are my heroes, and if he wants to talk to me, I'll get him on my YouTube as well. I also like You Bring the Beer. That one's kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum.
It is.
That is a good party song.
Another great one Shane wrote. Shane is such an incredibly talented songwriter. I've been writing songs since I was about 14, but that man has me beat. He writes so many, and they're just all phenomenal in my opinion.
Well,
and You Bring the Beer, I'll Bring the Noise. That was actually the last song that I had added to my repertoire when I was working with Sal. We had initially went in to record 5 songs, and I was like, you know what, we should have another upbeat one just to circle it out to 6 and make it an even number. So I told Shane, I said, I want you to write a song about me.
Well, he
decided to write it about my hometown, and then he just decided to add beer into the mix for those that may not have ever been to Louisville, Virginia.
It fits in better with the genre that folks are selling nowadays. We have the local producer radio show here. It's called the Outlaw Hours, and 2 of your songs for sure are going to fit in perfectly on the Outlaw Hours. And with that, I have to make the segue into the one I know you did write. So tell us about Pick Your Poison. What a song.
Yes, Pick Your Poison is my latest single that is out now, and I am just so proud of how this song turned out. I don't like tooting my own horn, but I do think that it is
I tooted it for you.
I think it is an awesome song. I came up with it out of nowhere. I was going to the gym, and I just sat in my car for a bit, and the words kind of started coming to me, and I was writing them in my phone, and I was on the treadmill writing some more, and then I went home and finished it, and I added music to it. But it was something else. I had so much fun writing it. I think it came together so well. And my producer, Grady Saxman, is the one that cut this song, and he did a fantastic job.
He did indeed.
Bringing everything together.
I was going to ask you who your producer was because I love everything you've done, and I wanted to know who produced all this. It was a great job.
Yes. Grady Saxman is the one that did Pick Your Poison, and the incredibly talented musicians he brought on for the track, I mean, they brought the song to life, and I could not be more thrilled with how the end result turned out.
Remind me to always keep on your good side. I don't ever want to get you upset with me after hearing that song.
I will find you.
Yeah, I believe you. And you got a busy tour schedule. I'm going to find you. It turns out, let me get my list here. I wrote this down off of where I liked it so much. I went to Spotify and I listened to a whole bunch of your stuff. Some of it I've listened to it several times, but I did find out on the schedule, your busiest tour schedule includes Old Red in Nashville, and When Pigs Fly. I love Pigues, fly, on July 26th, I believe it is. And you're going to be even closer to my home. Nashville is just an hour and a half from me. And then you're going to be even closer in Creel Springs, Illinois, just to go see Makenzie. And if I can do it, while we're on the subject, we were talking earlier about social media, and I'm producing this for a YouTube channel. So I wanted to find out if I could use your information and what pictures and video that I can find and use it on my YouTube channel, and kind of let folks know what you're doing here. And if we can make that happen, then maybe I can come to Creel Springs or to Nashville and do a sit down with you if you have time. I know touring is very busy.
You absolutely can. I mean, I'm going to be there for 2 days.
We will
play that Saturday from 7 to 10, and then that Sunday from 12 to 3.
Creel Springs is about 40 minutes from my front door, so I can make this happen anytime you want to. Or if you want to have a good home-cooked meal, come to the house. My wife will cook you a meal, and you can hang out with her. But
cool.
Yeah, we would love to have you. Anyway, at the end of these, I'm kind of out of information here, but I always like to ask everybody if there's anything they would like to add. So what have I left out here today that Makenzie Phipps wants folks to know about her?
Oh, like I said, I'm just available on all the social media platforms, streaming platforms. If people want to find out more information on me, they can go to my website, which is MakenzeePhipps.com, and there that will give you all of my socials, all of my newest singles that are out, as well as my tour schedule, and maybe our past will meet. And
you will get the up-to-date tour schedule that I found. I checked several places, and the most comprehensive one was on Spotify. So we go to Makenzie Phipps and hit, I think it's events that is on Spotify, but it even located near where I am. You know, the ones that I talked about were the ones that it located near me. So that's a good way to find you. Well, where are you? What are you up to today? You just talking to folks, or have you got something going on today?
You are actually my last person that I'm speaking with. I'm actually right now, as we are speaking, folding some of my newest merch items that came in and getting them all nice and dandy.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I found that on Spotify as well. Tell me about the merch. I love the shirts. I liked all of it. I like I say, it took me about 2 hours to become a fan of Makenzie Phipps.
Oh, well, thank you. Yes, I just released Pick Your Poison T-shirts. I just released You Bring the Beer, I'll Bring the Noise beer koozies or drink koozies. You don't have to put beer in them. But I just released those. I have my Pick Your Poison CDs out now, and then I did actually add a color of my standard Makenzie Phipps shirts, which is now a pink that people could go snatch up.
Well, I have a cousin who is a NASCAR driver, and his favorite color is pink. So I may pick one of those up and ship it to Alex Club Racing, and maybe you'll see it on TV on a NASCAR show one of these days.
Well, there you go.
That's awesome. Makenzie, I know that your life is busy, and I thank you for giving me a few minutes here, and we will try to put something together on YouTube. And I'll send it along to you. Scott actually is pretty good about forwarding what I send to him on to the artists, and the coolest thing that's happened to me in my life so far is I did a video with T.G. Shepherd a couple of months ago, and I sent it to him, and lo and behold, 4 hours later, he posted it on his own personal YouTube. You can talk to me for a week.
T.G. is such a nice man. Him and Kelly are just the sweetest people ever.
Amen.
And they have given me some very nice compliments, and I have always taken those to heart.
Those two give so much, and they give so much back. And you're right; they are incredible people. I think you're going to be on that list too. Anyway.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it, and God bless you. We will see you soon. Makenzie Phipps, boys and girls. For Makenzie Phipps, moving to Nashville from Virginia was no big challenge. Going back and forth home every couple of weeks and an exhausting tour schedule. No problem for Makenzie. As she continues to co-write her own music and her latest single, Pick Your Poison, she wrote that one herself. Her style is lots of countries, some classic countries, some more progressive, some downright edgy. Makenzie Phipps on the way, just in her early 20s, and I am really excited about the next big music star. I may be able to say I knew her once upon a time. Check Spotify, check social media, or especially go see Makenzie in person. Let me know what you think of Makenzie Phipps in the comments sections. Thanks for hanging around. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Country Conversations with Cactus Jack.